Hello everyone, building on top of my last video where I dropped in a CSV file and I was able to build out this beautiful dashboard, I wanted to show you how to edit different sections and how to change the theme, and it's easier than ever. They recently added this edit button to any of the graphs, so in the project itself you could open this up and you could see all the different components that it is made up of. Then you have the app summary, and within the app summary they have a preview of the application that was generated, okay? So with that, I don't like this graph. It didn't render the way I would like, so I'm going to change it. And the easiest way to do that is just to click on the edit button and then you get brought up to a chart outline. I'm going to replace this and I'm going to just tell it to create a bubble chart instead. And with this, we will remix it and we will submit the changes. And with that, it's going to rebuild that specific graph. So as it's doing that, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, okay? If I go over to plotly.com/Python, you can have a full list of all the different charts that Plotly consists of. So there is a ton of charts to choose from. There's a ton of documentation on them, but using Plotly Studio, you don't even know how to code. You could just say, hey, I want to come up with a bubble chart or a pie chart or whatever else. And you can click up here for more charts, and there is more charts. So there are so many charts to look through, and it's so interesting. But this is a great resource that you can use to leverage what you can actually create. Outside of that, Chris, one of the co-founders of Plotly, had this forum post on the Plotly forum, which is a show and tell thread consisting of his favorite charts. This is really interesting and useful for reference if you're trying to do more advanced stuff, or if you're just trying to create something that's beautiful, because he kind of dives into this and what he used to create them, and it's just a really great resource, which we will include in the links down below. So make sure to check this out, and yeah, give him a like, because this is pretty cool. Outside of that, we'll go back into Plotly Studio and we will see how it is performing. And there we are. This looks so much better than what we had. And if you wanted to remix this further, and if you don't know what to say, then there is this remix button, which it will spin up something a little bit different based on the prompt that you gave it. So you could just vibe code and vibe analyze whatever you want with this just by giving it instructions, and it will go about building out whatever you desire. Lo and behold, the remix did a better job than I could have with the prompt. So it's really cool. Everything is dynamic, where I could zoom into any section that I want, and I could look more into it, or I could zoom out and use any of the tools on the right hand side of the actual graph, but that looks phenomenal. So I'll stick with this graph, and we can move on to kind of showing some other tips and tricks that you could do. So if I go back to the application, I can open up the actual modal for it, and then over to theme, I can specify the theme in any way that I want. So for example, I could say use dark mode, and yeah, it's going to create the application in a dark theme, and you can change the whole theme of the application with just an instruction, hey, use the dark mode, because dark mode is the best. And here you are. This is the rebuild. By just giving instructions to the theme, we just changed the whole style of the application. And this looks so much better than it did in its light mode. But with that, it's never been so simple to just talk and vibe analyze and create and kind of tell a story off of the data sets that you have. So with this, I hope that you found this useful, and if you did, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, reach out in the comments down below. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.